Good morning, everyone. I am Emmanuel Noutary, the General Delegate of ANIMA Investment Network. Today I will speak about an initiative that we conducted between 2014 and 2016 on the assessment of the local impact for investment projects. So why and what are the challenges of foreign direct investment impact assessment? First, this initiative, it emerged from the need we've seen, especially after the Arab Spring, to reduce the development gaps. Sorry. Looking at our observatory, foreign direct investment observatory at ANIMA, we have noticed that most of the FDI projects were landed in the shores of the Mediterranean or in the capital cities or the metropolis. So there was a very strong imbalance between the regions in the way they were attracting FDI. Secondly, we conducted a survey for the World Bank to calculate the job efficiency of the foreign direct investment project. And we have noticed that the top 5 FDI sectors, the one who attracted 50% of the foreign direct investment in the Mediterranean, energy, public works, cement, bank, tourism. But among these 5 sectors, except for bank, they were the least efficient in terms of direct job creation, meaning the number of jobs created per million euro. So obviously, these are very capitalistic projects with create infrastructures and have a leverage on economic development. But we thought there could be a way to improve the direct impact in terms of job of this project. Finally, we also seen that the balance between ecological footprint and human development was not easy to reconciliate, and in many countries this reconciliation is not happening, in nearly all countries. And so this is a challenge ahead of us to create procedure systems, practices where we could reconciliate these both challenges. So why it is important for you as an organization, as a ministry, to evaluate upfront the foreign direct investment projects? First, it will help you to dimension the support you offer to the investor. Indeed, you usually propose a facilitation for the land or for the building. Sometimes you give some financial incentives to the investors, or you at least you mobilize your staff, your human resources to support the investors. So you need to dimension this support depending on the quality and the impact of this project. Secondly, if you make an assessment, it will help you to negotiate not only with investors. Obviously, you have to negotiate with investors to make sure it serves the interest of your country, of your region, but also you have to negotiate with the government, because as a agency or as in charge of attractiveness, you are the go-between between the investors and the government. So you are the advocate for both. And so the more you know, the more you are capable to understand and to evaluate the project, the better advocate you are, both for the country and for the company. Finally, if you assess FDI, it will allow you to put forward important questions such as, is the benefit for the country provided by the FDI worth the public support we are offering, and how this project is enriching or harming the local ecosystem. So we conducted we made a large report on all the criteria that were necessary for evaluating an investment project, and all the methodologies that could be used to make this evaluation. So we listed different analysis methods. Depending on the objective, you have plenty of possibilities of existing methodologies, such as cost-benefit analysis that is quite known, risk analysis, etc. And what we realized by doing this exercise, so we listed 70 criteria, many methodologies, and we realized that it was really a job to be done by experts, and these experts were not often and even hardly present within the investment promotion agencies or within the economic development agencies that were facing these investors. So we decided to create a rating methodology, which is softer, easier, method to evaluate and compare FDI projects to dimension the support offered. So we created an initiative funded by the ENI CBCMed project between 2014 and 2016, and we targeted worked with 3 countries at the beginning: Lebanon, Tunisia, and Palestine. And we put around the table for this initiative all the stakeholders that may be interested in this FDI assessment. So first, the private sector with BusinessMed, representing the Employers Federation in the Mediterranean, the territories, so with the Ministry of Planning in Tunisia, with the Région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, some national foreign direct investment promotion agencies like GAFI in Egypt or Enterprise Greece in Greece, and also experts that were very capable in a project assessment, who could help us to make sure that our method were consistent with international practices. So we invited the European Investment Bank, the Agence Française de Développement, the Caisse des Dépôts. We had also WWF. So it was a quite interesting dialogue among all these stakeholders. So the initiative aimed at designing a methodology that was accessible for non-experts. Secondly, training and doing capacity building to disseminate this methodology, and finally create a community of stakeholders that were willing to progress in the dimension of improving the impact of the investment project. In the end, the goal of these initiatives was to create a sort of new deal between investors and the countries and the territories, so that an investor gives more to a country, and the country will, in return, give more to the investors, either by indirect incentives or support, but also in terms of loyalty of the customers, loyalty of the staff, image for the company. So this methodology is designed to be handy, usable by non-experts, practical because it provides very practical benchmarks or case studies to understand how it works. Concrete because it's really designed at helping to improve concretely the investment project, and scalable in the sense that it's a methodology that is adapted not only for small projects but also for big and large projects. And we've seen that some ministries, the Ministry of Planning of Tunisia has used it for their own public investment in the regions of Tunisia to assess upfront the quality of the project. So EDILE, this rating tool, is providing 35 criteria sorted in 4 dimensions: economy, social, environmental, community. And you see that there is a selection of criteria in each of these dimensions. So if you look at economy, it would more deal with the availability of the product brought by the investor to the local population. Is it new? Is it cheaper? Is it harming the competition, the local competition, or not? Is it creating direct job? Is there a local subcontracting, etc.? Social dimension, it deals with all the job creation, obviously, with also the social policy of the company, the recruitment policy and the transparency in this recruitment policy, all what is related to capacity building, training, and also social protection of the employee. Environmental dimension, it deals with waste production and management, with the use of energy, energy reduction, renewable energy, also the water, obviously, water consumption, all the relation of the project with biodiversity and natural ecosystems, so forest, agricultural soils, etc. And finally, obviously, transport and logistics, which is an important dimension of the environmental impact of a project. And finally, we have this community dimension, which is evaluating the relation of the investment project with the territory. So does it have an impact on the social economy? Does it fight corruption? Does it have anti-competitive behavior? Yeah, does it help social actions on the territories, etc.? So if you look at each criteria in the guidebook we have, it's a bit like a magazine test. So you have questions depending on the answers. It gives you a rate that you apply for the calculation of the criteria grade, and in the end you have you aggregate the different grades of each criteria, and it gives you the rating of the investment project. So it's the first initiative that was born to try to grasp what was with tangible criteria, what could mean inclusive growth after the Arab Spring, because we had all this understanding that we should provide a new look on the economic development, and EDILE was one of the first initiatives to really provide concrete and operational criteria to grasp this inclusive growth. Obviously, it has been tested and developed with companies, so in Tunisia, in Lebanon, and Palestine. So we have tested it and adapted the rating based on their feedback. It's an initiative that has been reckoned by the Union for the Mediterranean, by the Med COP21, so prior to the COP21, by the Mediterranean Sustainable Working Party Commission. And today it is implemented in Tunisia in two institutions. One is a Tunisian Investment Authority, which is using an adaptation of EDILE to design to level the grant they give to large projects, to large investment projects coming to the country, and also the Ministry of Regional Development in Tunisia, who has been using EDILE to evaluate the impact of their public investment in the regions. So why it's interesting for you as a business support organization or investment promotion agency? First, using EDILE, you make sure you are aligned with international practices, because the way we design this rating tool, it's compatible with ISO 26000, with the Global Compact, with the Global Sustainable Development Goals, obviously. Second, it will help you to prioritize your support to the most valuable projects, investment projects for your country, your territory. And finally, you should know, probably, that a company that is more responsible in terms of environmental footprint, in terms of social behavior, in terms of local footprint, has less risk of failure. Many surveys have constated this fact, such as this one from EY that we have put on the slide. So by helping companies to improve on their local impact, you will also help them limit their failure risk. So therefore, it's good for the sustainability of the jobs on your territory. This is it. I'm happy to further discuss this EDILE methodology with you, and eventually to inform or adapt it to help you and implement such an initiative in your organizations. Thank you very much.